Hello and welcome back to the workshop. Today we're looking at something a little more interesting than the basic operation on the shaper. We're looking at using the Atlas centers. These are the dividing centers which were built specifically for or by Atlas to go with their little shaping machine. And you can see the setup that I've got here. This isn't how the centers were designed to be used. They were designed to be used in line with the ram. So this should be turned through 90 degrees and sticking out this way. But that's not suitable for what I want to use this for. What I'm making are, I've got 3 drawbar bolts to make for my milling machine. I want to get my milling machine operational. And we'll just go over to the milling machine. In fact, I'll grab one of the bolt blanks. And in case you're wondering why I need 3 blanks, 3 bolts, it's because some of the International 30 taper tooling is metric M12, some of it is 1/2 inch 13 UNC, and some of it is 1/2 inch Whitworth. So if I've got 3 bolts, I cover everything. But I need to make the bolt which goes through here, so I can stick that up there and tighten it up. And I won't make some proper bolts. The original one that was with this was some Heath Robinson affair, which was a piece of crap. So I'm making proper bolts. I want to do the job properly. So we're going to be cutting the 6 flats to make a hexagon right on the end. But we're not going to go all the way to the shoulder here. We're going to leave it bare, so we've still got a radius, or we've got the full diameter pressing down on top of the quill there. Alright, but this is the setup. Let's see what I've got here. I've had to reconfigure this, obviously. Let me put this down. Okay, I've had to reconfigure this because what I want to do is to use it at 90 degrees to the center line of the ram. So the centers themselves, the mounting holes, don't allow you to do that. It will only go through that in-line position. So what I've got here is a clamp, and you can see I've clamped a block there with 2 nuts clamping down on that, because what I don't want is the T-slots to burst with the clamping pressure. And then what I've done is I've put a packing piece in there, which is 3/8, because that's a nominal 7/8 of an inch. I put my clamping strip across and I've just clamped it down. I've drilled 2 new holes here, which allows me to put 2 studs in and tighten that down, and I'm quite happy with that. This isn't a high precision job. As long as my spanner fits on the end there, and it's going to be 13/16s, I'm happy with that. All I've done is I've aligned this by eye. This is cast here, and so is that. If I needed any precision, I would actually clock the edge of the work here. But I'm happy with as it is now. The dividing disc on the end here is calibrated for either 48 or 28 holes. So we're doing 6. So we're going to be working on the 48 holes. So every 8 holes we're going to be rotating it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark every 8 holes with my pen, so I don't get mixed up. I've had to do a few little jobs on this. Simple things like making a driving arm here, making the peg to go in there. I free this off. I had an extra disc for this, which I was going to use, but I found that the bore wasn't quite right. And also as well, the PCD for these centers didn't match with the peg here. You can move this, and you see there's 2 holes here. You can move it one to the other. On 48 we need the outside. So you couldn't use that disc. I don't believe it's the original one. This is the original one. The other one isn't, and I don't have any need for that. But anyway, we've got what we need now. I've actually touched off on the work now, and I've put a mark on here on the tool slide here. Unfortunately, on the Atlas, they don't allow you to turn this collar to 0 something. So you have to work out where to start with, and then calculate how far you've got to go around. Now, 1 revolution of this is 100 thousandths. So anyway, we can work with that. Okay, what we're going to do now is put a cut on. You can see I've made a little lock that fits on the gib strip here. Slacken that off, and I need my magnifying glass these days to see this. And we're going to move that in 32 thousandths, well 30 thousandths, and just see what that's like. 19, 30. That'll do for there. Let's lock that off. Lock that so I don't want the tool slide to move. We'll see how that goes. I've no idea how this is going to perform because I've never used these before. This will be the first time for me. I've set the stroke and position and everything. There's quite a few videos out there on setting up shaping machines, so I won't go into the ins and outs of it. Let me put my thing down. There you go, it's starting now. I've set the stroke about 1.5 inches length, and the start point is obviously there. You can see it's really slow at the moment. You can speed it up. There you are, you can see what's going on here. Oh, that looks okay. It's quite nice. Got a cut on. We're feeding 5,000 at a time here. Let me just put a bit of cutting oil on that. There you are, it's starting to cut now. Okay. You can see the ratchet feed mechanism working there. There's a lot of play in this mechanism. I will be going through that sometime in the future, sorting all that out. It's an old machine. It's probably about 1938, 39 build. So what, 85, 86 years old. So you can only expect there'll be some wear and tear. And there we go. So that's quite nice. And then all we'll do, we'll measure with the micrometer over there, and that'll tell us what we need to know. Alright, let's just see where we are now. I'm looking for about 1/4 inch. As long as I get my span on them flats, I'm happy with that. That'll do. That's good enough. Right, let's take it back. Let's just slow that down while we put another cut on. Okay. 20, 30,000 thereabouts. Now let's just bring it back. Let's bring it back now. Okay. Now off we go again. Let's put a bit of oil on that. There you go, it's better. In case you wonder what that noise is in the background, it's my diesel heater down there, look. It runs off a 12-volt battery. That's my charger up there. Just one little bit of interest for you. The reason why I'm doing all this, because yes, I want to get the milling machine working, but I want to get the milling machine because I want to cut some keyways, and I want to cut some keyways on that shaft up there. I haven't got the bearings fitted for that yet. I'm waiting for them to come, but I want to cut 3 keyways on the shaft to drive this. I want to get this up and running. This will be the last machine in the workshop to run. I want to get that used and get that in operation. So that's what all this is about. It's to get the metal planer going and bring the milling machine into operation too. Right, let's go back to our shaping machine, and you can see it's chugging away there, which is quite satisfactory. Right, we're taking our third cut now. It took another 30 thousandths off, so we've got about 9 thou to come off, but we'll do a dimensional check on this again, and just to be sure how much we've got to take off. Okay, that was our final pass, and you can see we've got 904, so it's 2 thou under. I'm not worried about that. What we're going to do now is we're going to rotate the centers through 180, and we're going to machine the flat on the opposite side. So let's put the micrometer down. Okay, let's just have a look then. So we're going to back the lock screw off. We're going to pull the pin, and we're going to rotate. I've set these quite stiff, so there is no play. There we go, that's at the bottom. Let's line that up. There's no spring plunger or anything like that on this. So you have to make sure it's in properly, make sure that's locked as well. So the flat's at the bottom, and that's now there. That's where it was before. It's now there. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look at this now. I'm going to go down to 53. I'll give me that 4 thou clearance. It's okay, that is for a spanner. Okay, let's just go back then. Right, we'll go. Anyhow, that was the starting point there. So we had 30 thou on each cut before, so we're probably going to go the same again now. I'm not going to push it too hard because this isn't a very rigid setup with the centers. You've got this long piece here only held in by a center. So the one thing I just want to mention about these as well, because we're dividing with this, you can't have any play in any of your components. It must be a positive drive and a positive movement, and everything must be locked up. Any give you've got here in the driving dog will lead to errors here. So make sure everything's tight. Alright, let's get going. Put that back down there where it lives. A little bit of oil. And away we go again. Slow process, but I'm not too worried about that. These sensors are a really useful addition to the machine. There's no reason why I couldn't fit them onto the bed of that on the planing machine and on the milling machine if I needed them. Okay, we're on our last pass now for the second flat. 53 as was the first one, and we'll see what this final dimension is. It should be about 4 thou under 13/16, which is 8125, so it's going to be about 8120, 8121, something like that. We'll see. Okay, we've just done our last pass. I just took the micrometer and measured that, and that's 908, so it's 2 thou over. I'm not too worried about that, and the reason being is this. That's quite satisfactory. That'll do nicely, that will. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go have a drink of tea, and I'll come back and we're going to start doing the other flats and get this job finished. Okay.